So Yahshuwah was a fulfillment of the shadow, which is the sacrifices are the shadow. Shadow doesn't go away because the shadow reflects off of the true image, right? If I get in front of a light and raise my hand, I don't know if you can see it here, there's no shadow here, you can see a little bit on the wall. The shadow is only there because the image is reflecting the shadow. So you can't take away the shadow because the shadow is connected to the image. So the shadow does not mean you get rid of the shadow. The shadow is only a mirror. That's what he said. It's a shadow. Most people don't know what a shadow is. Shadow is like a mirror. It's a reflection of what's there, the true image. So you can't get rid of the shadow. The shadow will never go away. Okay? That's why the sacrifices were not designed to take away sins. Only Yahshuwah was the one that paid the debt. Those animals couldn't do it. In a nutshell, we have burnt offering sacrifice, we have peace offerings, we have sin offerings, we have the guilt offerings, we have the food and drink, or what's called the meat offerings, and then something I'm not going to touch on this particular session, but we have the red heifer, right? And I did a teaching on that years ago, and it's quite a revelation with that red heifer, but I'm not going to deal with that in this session. Okay, so now let's start off with the first one here, which is the burnt offering. Okay, we're going to start right at Leviticus 1:1. Okay.
And Yah called unto Moses and spake unto him out of the tabernacle of the congregation, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, If any man of you bring an offering unto Yah, ye shall bring your offering of the cattle, even of the herd and of the flock. If his offering be a burnt sacrifice of the herd, let him offer a male without blemish. He shall offer it of his own voluntary will at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before Yah.
Okay, so now what do we read? The burnt offering is not a requirement. It was an offering, right? Is that what you read? It was an offering, right? It wasn't a requirement. It was an offering, right? All right. Okay, somebody missed it. Read that verse. It said free will, voluntary will. Verse 3.
If his offering be a burnt sacrifice of the herd, let him offer a male without blemish. He shall offer it of his own voluntary will at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before Yah.
So it's a voluntary sacrifice, right? Voluntary, not required. Okay, go ahead.
And he shall put his hand upon the head of the burnt offering, and it shall be accepted for him to make atonement for him. And he shall kill the bullock before Yah, and the priests, Aaron's sons, shall bring the blood and sprinkle the blood round about upon the altar that is by the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And he shall flay the burnt offering and cut it into pieces. And the sons of Aaron the priest shall put fire upon the altar and lay the wood in order upon the fire. And the priests, Aaron's sons, shall lay the parts, the head and the fat in order upon the wood that is on the fire, which is upon the altar. But his inwards and his legs shall he wash in water, and the priest shall burn all on the altar to be a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto Yah. And if his offering be of the flocks, namely of the sheep or the goats, for a burnt sacrifice, he shall bring it a male without blemish. And he shall kill it on the side of the altar northward before Yah, and the priests, Aaron's sons, shall sprinkle his blood round about upon the altar. And he shall cut it into pieces, which his head and his fat, and the priest shall lay them in order on the wood that is on the fire, which is upon the altar. But he shall wash the inwards and the legs with water, And the priest shall bring it all and burn it upon the altar. It is a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto Yah. And if the burnt sacrifice for his offering to Yah be of fowls, then he shall bring his offering of turtle doves or of young pigeons. And the priest shall bring it unto the altar and wring off his head and burn it on the altar, and the blood thereof shall be wrung out at the side of the altar. And he shall pluck away his crop with his feathers and cast it beside the altar on the east part, by the place of the ashes. And he shall cleave it with the wings thereof, but shall not divide it asunder. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar, upon the wood that is upon the fire. It is a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto Yah.
See that? So that's a whole burnt offering. Chapter 2 and verse 1.
And when any will offer a meat offering unto Yah, his offering shall be of fine flour, and he shall pour oil upon it and put frankincense thereon. And he shall bring it to Aaron's sons the priests, and he shall take there out his handful of the flour thereof, and of the oil thereof, with all the frankincense thereof, and the priest shall burn the memorial of it upon the altar, to be an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto Yah.
See that? So now the meat offering is not a blood offering, as you know. Probably many people probably would have thought that by hearing the terminology meat offering, but the word for meat is the Hebrew word minka, which it says it is a donation, a tribute, or a sacrificial offering. Usually it says bloodless and voluntary. So that's the meat offering, is bloodless and voluntary, just like the burnt offering, right? Okay, go ahead.
And the remnant of the meat offering shall be Aaron and his sons, and it is a thing most holy of the offerings of Yah made by fire. And if thou bring an oblation of a meat offering baken in the oven, it shall be unleavened cakes of fine flour mingled with oil, or unleavened wafers anointed with oil. And if thy oblation be a meat offering baken in a pan, it shall be a fine flour unleavened mingled with oil. Thou shalt part it in pieces and pour oil thereon. It is a meat offering. And if thy oblation be a meat offering baken in the frying pan, it shall be made of fine flour with oil. And thou shalt bring the meat offering that is made of these things unto Yah, and when it is presented unto the priest, he shall bring it unto the altar. And the priest shall take from the meat offering a memorial thereof, and shall burn it upon the altar. It is an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto Yah. And that which is left of the meat offering shall be Aaron's and his sons. It is a thing most holy of the offerings of Yah made by fire. No meat offering which ye shall bring unto Yah shall be made with leaven. For ye shall burn no leaven nor any honey in any offering of Yah made by fire. As for the oblation of the first fruits, ye shall offer them unto Yah, but they shall not be burnt on the altar for a sweet savor. And every oblation of the meat offering shalt thou season with salt. Neither shalt thou suffer the salt of the covenant of thy Elohim to be lacking from thy meat offering. With all thine offerings thou shalt offer salt. And if thou offer a meat offering of thy first fruits unto Yah, thou shalt offer for the meat offering of thy first fruits green ears of corn dried by the fire, even corn beaten out of full ears. And thou shalt put oil upon it and lay frankincense thereon. It is a meat offering. And the priest shall burn the memorial of it, part of the beaten corn thereof, and part of the oil thereof, and with all the frankincense thereof. It is an offering made by fire unto Yah.
So that's the meat offering. So you got the it looks like maybe cornbread or something like that, could be, or a pastry, right? And then corn. The last part of that was corn. Okay, so they're offering these as sacrifice. And now you notice the priest could eat that, but the priest couldn't eat the first one, which is the burnt offering, because it's a whole burnt offering. Nothing is left. Okay, then the next one is the peace offering in chapter 3.
And if his oblation be a sacrifice of peace offering, if he offer it of the herd, whether it be a male or female, he shall offer it without blemish before Yah. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of his offering, and kill it at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And Aaron's sons, the priests, shall sprinkle the blood upon the altar round about. And he shall offer of the sacrifice of the peace offering an offering made by fire unto Yah, the fat that covereth the inwards, and all the fat there is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys and the fat that is on them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver with the kidneys, it shall he take away. And Aaron's son shall burn it on the altar upon the burnt sacrifice, which is upon the wood that is on the fire. It is an offering made by fire, of a sweet savor unto Yah. And if his offering for a sacrifice of peace offering unto Yah be of the flock, male or female, he shall offer it without blemish. If he offer a lamb for his offering, then shall he offer before Yah. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of his offering, and kill it before the tabernacle of the congregation. And Aaron's son shall sprinkle the blood thereof round about upon the altar. And he shall offer of the sacrifice of the peace offering an offering made by fire unto Yah, the fat thereof and the whole rump, it shall he take off hard by the backbone, and the fat that covereth the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver with the kidneys, it shall he take away. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar. It is the food of the offering made by fire unto Yah. And if his offering be a goat, then he shall offer it before Yah. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of it, and kill it before the tabernacle of the congregation. And the sons of Aaron shall sprinkle the blood there upon the altar round about. And he shall offer thereof his offering, even an offering made by fire unto Yah, the fat that covereth the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, the 2 kidneys, the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver with the kidneys, it shall he take away. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar. It is the food of the offering made by fire, for a sweet savor. All the fat is Yah's. It shall be a perpetual statute for your generations throughout all your dwellings, that ye eat neither fat nor blood.
So that's the peace offering. So they could eat the meat in the peace offering, but not the fat. So they help you to understand why the priests were fat. They was doing a lot of handling the sacrifices and eating a lot of. I think I read somewhere in one of the books where one of the priests had a fat gut or something like that. I don't know if that was exact wording, but talked about that he had fat. He pulled back his garment and had a bunch of fat around his gut. All right, the last one is the sin offering. That's chapter 4.
And Yah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, If a soul shall sin through ignorance against any of the commandments of Yah concerning things which ought not to be done, and shall do against any of them, if the priest that is anointed do sin according to the sin of the people, then let him bring for his sin, which he have sinned, a young bullock without blemish unto Yah for a sin offering.
See that? So now this one here is a required sacrifice. It's a sin offering is required by the Most High you have to bring something, right? That's what the difference between the burnt and the peace offering and the meat offerings. They were all free will sacrifices, but this one here was a mandatory sacrifice for sin. Okay, go ahead.
And he shall bring the bullock unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before Yah, and shall lay his hand upon the bullock's head, and kill the bullock before Yah. And the priest that is anointed shall take of the bullock's blood, and bring it to the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall dip his finger in the blood, and sprinkle of the blood 7 times before Yah, before the veil of the sanctuary.
Okay, so why are you sprinkling blood? The life is in the blood. So everything has to be purged with blood, right? Because of the sinful nature of man. For the priests to do their services, they had to have their ears, their thumbs, their feet. They had to sprinkle blood on the horns of the altar and all that, because all this was a purification process, so they wouldn't drop dead when they go before the tabernacle in the presence of the Most High. Okay, that's what all it's about.
And the priest shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar of sweet incense before Yah, which is in the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall pour all the blood of the bullock at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation.
So they pour the blood at the bottom because the blood was exchanged. The blood represents the sin of the people. That blood had to be purged, but with fire. Okay, go ahead.
And he shall take off from it all the fat of the bullock for the sin offering, the fat that covereth the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver with the kidneys, it shall he take away, as it was taken off from the bullock of the sacrifice of the peace offerings. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar of the burnt offering. And the skin of the bullock and all his flesh, with his head, with his legs and inwards, and his dung, even the whole bullock shall he carry forth without the camp unto a clean place, where the ashes are poured out, and burn him on the wood with fire. Where the ashes are poured out shall he be burnt. And if the whole congregation of Israel sin through ignorance, and the thing be hid from the eyes of the assembly, and they have done somewhat against any of the commandments of Yah concerning things which should not be done, and are guilty, when the sin which they have sinned against it is known, then the congregation shall offer a young bullock for the sin, and bring him before the tabernacle of the congregation. And the elders of the congregation shall lay their hands upon the head of the bullock before Yah, and the bullock shall be killed before Yah. And the priest that is anointed shall bring of the bullock's blood to the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall dip his finger in some of the blood, and sprinkle it 7 times before Yah, even before the veil. And he shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar, which is before Yah, that is in the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall pour out all the blood at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And he shall take all his fat from him, and burn it upon the altar. And he shall do with the bullock as he did with the bullock for a sin offering. So shall he do with this, and the priest shall make an atonement for them, and shall be forgiven them. And he shall carry forth the bullock without the camp, and burn him as he burned the first bullock. It is a sin offering for the congregation. When a ruler have sinned and done somewhat through ignorance against any of the commandments of Yah, his Elohim, concerning things which should not be done, and is guilty, or if his sin wherein he have sinned come to his knowledge, he shall bring his offering, a kid of the goats, a male without blemish. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the goat, and kill it in the place where they kill the burnt offering before Yah. It is a sin offering. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering with his finger and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and shall pour out his blood at the bottom of the altar of burnt offering. And he shall burn all his fat upon the altar as the fat of the sacrifice of peace offerings. And the priest shall make an atonement for him as concerning his sin, and it shall be forgiven him. And if any one of the common people sin through ignorance, while he doeth somewhat against any of the commandments of Yah, concerning things which ought not to be done, and be guilty, or if his sin which he hath sinned come to his knowledge, then he shall bring an offering of a kid of the goats, a female without blemish, for his sin which he hath sinned. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering, and slay the sin offering in the place of the burnt offering. And the priest shall take of the blood thereof with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and shall pour out all the blood thereof at the bottom of the altar. And he shall take away all the fat thereof, as the fat is taken away from off the sacrifice of the peace offerings, and the priest shall burn it upon the altar for a sweet savor unto Yah. And the priest shall make an atonement for him, and it shall be forgiven him. And if he bring a lamb for a sin offering, he shall bring it a female without blemish. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering, and slay it for a sin offering in the place where they kill the burnt offering. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and shall pour out all the blood thereof at the bottom of the altar. And he shall take away all the fat thereof, as the fat of the lamb is taken away from the sacrifice of the peace offerings. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar, according to the offerings made by fire unto Yah. And the priest shall make an atonement for his sin that he hath committed, it shall be forgiven him.
See that? So now, notice that whole chapter is talking about people sinning through ignorance, not willful disobedience. But then he said, if a person sinned through ignorance, right? We sinned through ignorance before we knew we were supposed to keep the law. Now it comes to your mind, you got to offer a sacrifice, right? And Yahshua is the sacrifice. He was the sacrifice then. He is the sacrifice today. But with that sacrifice, we are instructed that if we sin, if we confess our sins, he who? The high priest, Yahshua, is faithful and just to forgive us of our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness, which is disobedience to the Most High's commandments, right? So now you have the, we're going to recap, you have the burnt offering, which is a whole burnt offering. You have the meat offering, which consists of your grains and the corn. And then you have the peace offerings, right? And then you have the sin offering, which was a required offering for a person sinning or missing the mark. That's what that word sin means, missing the mark. So you have sin and transgressions, and you have trespasses, okay? Sin, missing the mark, is just disobeying the Most High. That's the sin offering, okay? Now, let's look at verse 5. We'll read chapter 5. We'll read chapter 5, and we'll do the trespass offering. Trespass is the last one. I said sin offering was the last. Trespass is the last one. Okay. So we're going to start at chapter 5 and 1.
And if a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing, and it is a witness whether he have seen or known of it, if he do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity. Or if a soul touch any unclean thing, whether it be a carcass of an unclean beast, or a carcass of an unclean cattle, or a carcass of an unclean creeping thing, and if it be hidden from him, he also shall be unclean and guilty. Or if he touch the uncleanness of man, whatsoever uncleanness it be, that a man shall be defiled withal, and it be hid from him, when he knoweth of it, then he shall be guilty. Or if a soul swear, pronouncing with his lips to do evil or to do good, whatsoever it be that a man shall pronounce with an oath, and it be hid from him when he knoweth of it, then he shall be guilty in one of these. And it shall be when he shall be guilty in one of these things, that he shall confess that he have sinned in that thing. And he shall bring his trespass offering unto Yah for his sin which he have sinned, a female from the flock, a lamb or a kid of the goats, for a sin offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his sin.
Okay, now notice what happened. He had to confess, right, on this one. We didn't see confessing on the others, did we? So, but this one we see he had to confess first. See, verse 5 he said, when he shall be guilty in one of these things, that he shall confess that he have sinned in that thing. Same as what we do in the New Testament, right? As the people call it New Testament. We confess our sin, right? And confessing of the sin, and then now you have acknowledged that you have willfully transgressed the Most High, and now you can offer sacrifice because now you have repented and you are turning away from that sin, right? So that therefore he can now go as an offer, bring his trespass offering unto Yah now for his sin which he have sinned against the Most High. Okay, all right, go ahead.
And if he be not able to bring a lamb, then he shall bring for his trespass which he hath committed 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons unto Yah, one for a sin offering and the other for a burnt offering. And he shall bring them unto the priest, who shall offer that which is for the sin offering first, and wring off his head from his neck, but shall not divide it asunder. And he shall sprinkle of the blood of the sin offering upon the side of the altar, and the rest of the blood shall be wrung out at the bottom of the altar. It is a sin offering. And he shall offer the second for a burnt offering according to the manner, and the priest shall make an atonement for him for his sin which he hath sinned, and it shall be forgiven him. But if he is not able to bring 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, then he that sinned shall bring for his offering the 10th part of an ephah of fine flour for a sin offering. He shall put no oil upon it, neither shall he put any frankincense thereon, for it is a sin offering. Then shall he bring it to the priest, and the priest shall take his handful of it, even a memorial thereof, and burn it on the altar. According to the offering made by fire unto Yah, it is a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him as touching his sin, that he have sinned in one of these, and it shall be forgiven him, and the remnant shall be the priest's as a meat offering. And Yah spake unto Moses, saying, if a soul commit a trespass and sin through ignorance in the holy things of Yah, then he shall bring for his trespass unto Yah a ram without blemish out of the flocks, with thy estimation of shekels of silver, after the shekel of the sanctuary, for a trespass offering. And he shall make amends for the harm that he have done in the holy thing, and shall add the 5th part thereto, and give it unto the priest. And the priest shall make an atonement for him with the ram of the trespass offering, and it shall be forgiven him. And if a soul sin and commit any of these things which are forbidden to be done by the commandments of Yah, though he wist it not, yet he is guilty, and shall bear his iniquity. And he shall bring a ram without blemish out of the flock, with thy estimation, for a trespass offering unto the priest, and the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his ignorance wherein he erred and wist it not, and it shall be forgiven him. It is a trespass offering. He have certainly trespassed against Yah.
See that? So the Most High, we're showing you that this is grace right here in the sacrifices. He gave everybody an opportunity, even to confess their sins, right in the Old Testament, confessing the sins. After the confession, then you could bring this sacrifice. The Most High won't hear a sacrifice if you sin and you don't confess it. That's just the bottom line, right? I think somebody said, was it Matthews? And we know that Yah don't hear a sinner man's prayer, right? That's true. He don't hear a sinner's prayer. Only prayer he hears is when you confess, and then now he's got an ear. But you can't be walking in sin and call yourself talking to the Most High, because he's not going to hear your prayers. I know somebody saying, no, brother, I pray and the Lord answers my prayers. Okay. You know, the devil answers prayers too, you know. You don't think the devil answers prayers? I could tell you story after story of people who have consulted with psychics and have gotten results from seeking after the spirit of divination. I know plenty of people. But the end of that is death, right? Okay. So now we dealt with the burnt offering. We dealt with the meat offering, right? The peace offering, the sin offering, the trespass offering, the Thanksgiving offering. Okay. Verse chapter 6. This is going to deal with the law of offering. Okay, I think this is the chapter I was talking about. Okay, let's just read a little bit of that, chapter 6, and then I think we'll just wrap it up here.
And Yah spake unto Moses, saying, if a soul sin and commit a trespass against Yah, and lie unto his neighbor in that which was delivered him to keep, or in fellowship, or in a thing taken away by violence, or hath deceived his neighbor, or have found that which was lost, and lieth concerning it, and sweareth falsely in any of all these that a man doeth, sinning therein, then it shall be, because he have sinned and is guilty, that he shall restore that which he took violently away, or the thing which he hath deceitfully gotten, or that which was delivered to him to keep, or the lost thing which he found. Mm-hmm. Or all that about which he have sworn falsely, he shall even restore it in the principal, and shall add the fifth part more thereto, and give it unto him to whom it appertaineth.
Okay, pause for a second. Now, that's what the legal system does, right? Don't they sue people and tack on their fees? Mm-hmm. They got this from here. Okay, there's no sacrifice being offered here. The person has got to repay for their sin. Okay, go ahead.
In the day of his trespass offering. Verse 6. And he shall bring his trespass offering unto Yah, a ram without blemish out of the flock of with thy estimation, for a trespass offering unto the priest. Mm-hmm. And the priest shall make an atonement for him before Yah, and it shall be forgiven him for anything of all that he have done in trespassing therein. Mm-hmm. And Yah spake unto Moses, saying, command Aaron and his sons, saying, this is the law of the burnt offering. It is the burnt offering because of the burning upon the altar all night unto the morning, and the fire of the altar shall be burning in it. And the priest shall put on his linen garment, and his linen breeches shall he put upon his flesh, and take up the ashes which the fire hath consumed with the burnt offering on the altar, and he shall put them beside the altar. And he shall put off his garments, and put on other garments, and carry forth the ashes without the camp unto a clean place. And the fire upon the altar shall be burning in it. It shall not be put out. And the priest shall burn wood on it every morning, and lay the burnt offering in order upon it. And he shall burn thereon the fat of the peace offerings. The fire shall ever be burning upon the altar. It shall never go out. And this is the law of the meat offering. The sons of Aaron shall offer it before Yah, before the altar. And he shall take of it his handful of the flour of the meat offering, and of the oil thereof, and all the frankincense which is upon the meat offering, and shall burn it upon the altar for a sweet savor, even the memorial of it unto Yah. And the remainder thereof shall Aaron and his sons eat with unleavened bread. Shall it be eaten in the holy place, in the court of the tabernacle of the congregation shall they eat it. It shall not be baken with leaven. I have given it unto them for their portion of my offerings made by fire. It is most holy, as is the sin offering and as the trespass offering. All the males among the children of Aaron shall eat of it. It shall be a statute forever in your generations concerning the offerings of Yah made by fire. Every one that toucheth them shall be holy. And Yah spake unto Moses, saying, This is the offering of Aaron and of his sons, which they shall offer unto Yah in the day when he is anointed, the 10th part of the ephah of fine flour for a meat offering perpetual, half of it in the morning and half thereof at night. In a pan it shall be made with oil. And when it is baken, thou shalt bring it in, and the baken pieces of the meat offering shalt thou offer for a sweet savor unto Yah. And the priest of his sons that is anointed in his stead shall offer it. It is the statute forever unto Yah. It shall be wholly burnt. For every meat offering for the priest shall be wholly burnt. It shall not be eaten. And Yah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and to his sons, saying, This is the law of the sin offering. In the place where the burnt offering is killed shall the sin offering be killed before Yah. It is most holy. The priest that offer it for sin shall eat it in the holy place, shall it be eaten in the court of the tabernacle of the congregation. Whatsoever shall touch the flesh thereof shall be holy. And when there is sprinkled of the blood thereof upon any garment, thou shalt wash that whereon it was sprinkled in the holy place. But the earthen vessel wherein it is sodden shall be broken, and if it be sodden in a brazen pot, it shall be both scoured and rinsed in water. All the males among the priests shall eat thereof. It is most holy. And no sin offering whereof any of the blood is brought into the tabernacle of the congregation to reconcile withal in the holy place shall be eaten. It shall be burnt in the fire.
So that's that whole burnt offering that is supposed to be burnt. They're not going to eat of that burnt offering, right? Okay, we got one more chapter, and then that pretty much is going to end the sacrifices. So let's. You want me to read, or you good?
I can.
Okay. All right, 7 and 1.
Likewise, this is the law of the trespass offering. It is most holy. In the place where they kill the burnt offering shall they kill the trespass offering, and the blood thereof shall he sprinkle round about upon the altar. And he shall offer of it all the fat thereof, the rump and the fat that covereth the inwards, and the 2 kidneys and the fat that is on them, which is by the flanks, and the caul that is above the liver with the kidneys, it shall he take away. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar for an offering made by fire unto Yah. It is a trespass offering. Every male among the priests shall eat thereof. It shall be eaten in the holy place. It is most holy. As the sin offering is, so is the trespass offering. There is one law for them. The priest that maketh atonement therewith shall have it. And the priest that offereth any man's burnt offering, even the priest shall have to himself the skin of the burnt offering which he hath offered. And all the meat offering that is baken in the oven, and all that is dressed in the frying pan and in the pan, shall be the priests that offer it. And every meat offering mingled with oil and dry shall all the sons of Aaron have, one as much as another. And this is the law of the sacrifice of peace offerings, which he shall offer unto Yah. If he offer it for a thanksgiving, then he shall offer with the sacrifice of thanksgiving unto unleavened cakes mingled with oil, and unleavened wafers anointed with oil, and cakes mingled with oil of fine flour fried. Besides the cakes, he shall offer for his offering leavened bread with the sacrifice of thanksgiving of his peace offerings. And of it he shall offer one out of the whole oblation for an heave offering unto Yah. And it shall be the priest that sprinkleth the blood of the peace offerings, and the flesh of the sacrifice of his peace offerings for thanksgiving shall be eaten the same day that it is offered. He shall not leave any of it until the morning. But if the sacrifice of his offering be a vow or a voluntary offering, it shall be eaten the same day that he offereth his sacrifice, and on the morrow also the remainder of it shall be eaten. But the remainder of the flesh of the sacrifice on the third day shall be burnt with fire. And if any of the flesh of the sacrifice of his peace offerings be eaten at all on the third day, it shall not be accepted, neither shall it be imputed unto him that offereth it. It shall be an abomination, and the soul that eateth of it shall bear his iniquity. And the flesh that toucheth any unclean thing shall not be eaten, it shall be burnt with fire. And as for the flesh, all that be clean shall eat thereof. But the soul that eateth of the flesh of the sacrifice of peace offerings that pertain unto Yah, having his uncleanness upon him, even that soul shall be cut off from his people. Moreover, the soul that shall touch any unclean thing, as the uncleanness of man, or any unclean beast, or any abominable unclean thing, and eat of the flesh of the sacrifice of peace offerings which pertain unto Yah, even that soul shall be cut off from his people. And Yah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, Ye shall eat no manner of fat of ox, or of sheep, or of goat, and the fat of the beast that dieth of itself, and the fat of that which is torn with beasts may be used in any other use, but ye shall in no wise eat of it. For whosoever eateth the fat of the beasts, of which men offer an offering made by fire unto Yah, even the soul that eateth it shall be cut off from his people. Moreover, ye shall eat no manner of blood, whether it be of the fowl or of beasts, in any of your dwellings. Whatsoever soul it be that eateth any manner of blood, even that soul shall be cut off from his people. And Yah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, He that offereth the sacrifice of his peace offerings unto Yah shall bring his oblation unto Yah of the sacrifice of his peace offerings. His own hands shall bring the offerings of Yah made by fire. The fat with the breast it shall he bring, that the breast may be waved for a wave offering before Yah. And the priest shall burn the fat upon the altar, but the breast shall be Aaron's and his sons. And the right shoulder shall ye give unto the priest for a heave offering of sacrifices of your peace offerings. He among the sons of Aaron that offereth the blood of the peace offerings, and the fat shall have the right shoulder for his part. For the wave breast and the heave shoulder have I taken of the children of Israel from off the sacrifices of their peace offerings, and have given them unto Aaron of the priests and unto his sons by a statute forever among the children of Israel. This is the portion of the anointing of Aaron and of the anointing of his sons out of the offerings of Yah made by fire in the day when he presented them to minister unto Yah in the priest's office, which Yah commanded to be given them of the children of Israel in the day that he anointed them by a statute forever throughout their generations. This is the law of the burnt offering, of the meat offering, and of the sin offering, and of the trespass offering, and of the consecrations, and of the sacrifice of the peace offerings. which Yah commanded Moses in Mount Sinai in the day that he commanded the children of Israel to offer their oblations unto Yah in the wilderness of Sinai.
Okay. So there you have it. Those are the sacrifices. Now, prayerfully, after listening to reading, because most people, I'm going to tell you, this is the Yah's honest truth. Most people have never read that. But just reading it, you see, when you think about it, what is wrong with the sacrifices? Ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't a thing wrong with it. These sacrifices they were twofold. Purification sacrifices. Because the Most High always wanted to commune with us, his creation. He communed with the first Adam, right? Adam and his wife Kawah. And when they sinned and transgressed against the Most High, they went away from his presence because they knew that, hey, we cut off from the Most High. And so in order for the Most High to be able to commune with him, that's why he offered the sacrifice. Because of his love and of his grace and his mercy, he didn't want to destroy his creation, so he offered the sacrifice so that man could commune with him, right? Now, once again, when you understand Genesis 3, after Adam sinned, he said that the seed of the woman would bruise the heel of the serpent, right? Is that right? Is that how that goes? The seed of, how do preachers do it? The seed of let's see, verse 15, I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Right? So the seed of the woman is Yahshuwah, who all the sacrifices mirrored. Okay? That's why it's nothing wrong with the sacrifices. That's the reason why most people don't even know that in the 1,000-year reign, and I'm not going to go there, but I'm going to give you a precursor. If you go to Ezekiel chapter 40, the Most High tells one of the Israelites to share the vision of this kingdom. So in 40, that's where he starts, where he shows them that there's going to be a temple in the 1,000-year reign. And in that temple, and Yahshuwah will be on the earth, right? There will be sacrifices while he's here on the earth. For who though? Who are you sacrificing for? Certainly not for those of us who are going to be changed. We won't need to be sacrificed. That's how you understand the new covenant, because in the new covenant is when we're going to be changed. And he said he will write his law on our hearts. That means we will be the government of the world. Right? Those of us who are changed. Right? But those that are left, because every Israelite that is going to be left when the Messiah returns is not going to be gathered with him. They are going to have to come under compliance if they're alive. But I wouldn't take that chance. You know, I want to be obedient now. Right? You wait, you might not have a chance because you might die before that time comes. So that's why we have to obey the Most High. Because during that 1,000 year is where he's going to make the priests, right? If you look at 44, right? Ezekiel 44. And maybe we'll do a lesson on that in the future about the temple, the millennial temple. But basically it talks about how he's going to use the priests, and they're going to offer sacrifices in the temple for the people, right? They're going to get it right. Those of us who are going to be in that remnant we're not going to have to go on that, because we're going to go through a process of being changed and becoming immortal, just like the Messiah, right? So that's all I got for now. And if you have any questions about anything that we read today, feel free to post comments or questions, and I will address those questions on my Ask Malachi channel, where I directly just do a video and direct it to the person who asked the question. Okay? With that said, that's all I got. So until next time, may the blessing of the Most High God be with you and your family. Shalom, shalom, shalom.